so many cinema cameras released recently. Whoa. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Should we be nervous? Should we be excited? Here are my thoughts. When it comes to developing my perspective on all this new, hopefully cool technology being introduced, one of the first things that comes to mind is a paintbrush. Going back in time, somebody like Vincent van Gogh, painters, or at the very least people that admire his paintings, aren't talking as much about what paintbrush he used as much as the actual artwork itself. The pieces of artwork that he's shared with the world have so much more to say, have contributed so much more to our culture and to people's lives than whatever paintbrush he may or may not have used, or whatever palette he may have mixed his paints on. As filmmakers, content creators, I think it's worth developing a similar perspective on cameras. If you watched my last video, you know my whole perspective on the value of tools versus the value of imagination, where imagination, I think, should be in the driver's seat. And tools, they're not important. They are really important. But instead of having the tools lead the way, or just tossing out the tools entirely, tools should just be riding shotgun, doing their part, contributing to the main part of the story, but the story itself, the vision, the message you want to communicate to the world should be what's at the forefront. The next thought that comes to mind regarding all these amazing, fancy, schmancy cinema cameras being released is that whatever camera you're using, it can multiply your vision, but it can't create your vision for you. One of the things Quentin Tarantino said, I think when he was speaking to some college, is that the job of a director is not to make his vision happen. His job, or her job, is to have a vision. I think that's so powerful for just setting the boundaries, setting up the proper framing for understanding what my role is as, at least what my goal for myself as a writer and director, is to pair my tools and my vision properly. If your story, your framing, your imagination are strong enough, then something as simple as a GoPro can be as enough of a cinematic powerhouse as you need it to be. A lot of videographers and filmmakers make the mistake of, and I'm guilty of this also, but make the mistake of thinking that they can't start until they have the right tools. Like, I'm not gonna start making my movie until I have this camera. And I wouldn't say that that's wrong necessarily, I just think it's incomplete. Your missing piece isn't in a catalog or in an online shopping cart. I think it's really all contained in your ideas and in what you actually create. Next, limitations are not always a bad thing. Maybe you are watching this and thinking, I don't have the camera or the thing or the light unit or the whatever that I really want to use to make my vision happen. But taking a step back, zooming out, bird's eye view, big picture, when you can't climb a wall, you're forced to invent a ladder. Some of cinema's greatest inventions that have changed filmmaking forever were born out of not having the thing they needed. I mean, when it comes to shooting handheld, that became an iconic look from like not having the things to make the camera stable. Some things that are shot all in natural light from not having the budget for the big light units they needed to light a scene. Amazing opportunities can be born out of facing an obstacle and squeezing creativity from your neurons to develop some new innovative way to troubleshoot, to problem solve, to use what you have to make something that maybe someone hasn't done before. I empathize with the struggle, like when you know what you can do when you have the thing that can do the thing you see in your mind. But I can say for myself, the times that I look back on the experiences I've had where I've pushed through, where I've looked at an obstacle and found a way around, under, or over, or through it, it's been so much more fulfilling than if I just had someone hand me a blank check. But if somebody wants to write me a blank check, I mean, I'm not gonna stop you. And final thoughts. When it comes to this new technology, new cameras, they're exciting. And when they're good, they're worth celebrating. But I think the best way to see these new cinema cameras is as an option for scaling up, and not necessarily as a prerequisite to starting. I think it should be less about, I don't have that camera, so I'm gonna wait until I do before I start, and more about, I'm gonna use the camera I have now until I can level up to that bigger, better, faster, more features having camera when I'm ready for it. At the same time, if you're watching this video and you're already like pushing your gear to the very limits and you're like, why won't this camera do this? It's probably reasonable for you to look at a new cinema camera or find something that has better dynamic range or whatever other feature is a genuine limitation you're ready to move past. But if you're watching this and you're still discovering your voice and developing your vision, I don't think any purchase, any new cinema camera can shortcut that journey for you. Also, if you already got one of the new cinema cameras that came out recently, cool, that's awesome. I'm hoping to be able to explore them, mess around with them, push some buttons on them sometime soon also. If you are using a camera that you're like not super stoked about showing off to people, I hope you find courage encouragement, and maybe even a renewed sense of excitement about what's possible with using what you have to make something that no one has made with it before. And I hope you remember that the value in what you create is not necessarily in what you used to create it, but just the fact that it was created by you. If you get the latest and greatest and most admired camera out there, anyone else can get that same tool, same as you. No one can replace your heart, your mind, your voice, or what you have to share with the world. Well, cool. I'm preaching that to myself too. So let's see what we do with it, huh?